Hi, Debbie. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview with me today. I know you had time to read the consent form. Did you have any questions about it?
No, and you're welcome. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. So, I'm just going to ask you about your job at the local community mental health organization here in town. And I just want to know, so how did you get started in your profession? What made you want to go into the field?
Well, this is a small town, and when I went back to school, I had 3 kids. I was working full time, and so I had limited possibilities about how I was going to do that. And I was lucky enough to get a timber waiver through Washington State University. So I ended up with a degree in social sciences, which I did from Port Angeles in an extended degree program. And when I finished, I went to a job fair, and I ran into, I went to the mental health table. I don't know why, I just gravitated towards it. And our HR guy was there, Dan Pottiger, and he says to me, "Do I have a job for you? Your boss is going to love you." And I went, I applied, and I talked to all the other case managers and my boss, and then she went to a wedding, and then they had me back, and they just hired me even though I didn't have any experience. I'd been a bartender for 8 years and a mom, but I knew the community and I knew the resources, and I think having a degree in social sciences kind of gives you a broad base of how to talk to different people. And
I was able to prepare you a little bit for what you were going into.
I don't know if you could ever be prepared, because I didn't think about mental illnesses until I went to work there. It was kind of, we don't talk about it, really. You don't grow up thinking, oh, somebody has schizophrenia, oh, somebody has bipolar. So it was kind of an eye-opener for me. But people don't always want to talk about their illness. They want to talk about other interesting things, too. So I had a wide variety of subjects to talk to them about. And like I said, I'm from here, so I don't know.
You can relate to them on
I could
another
relate
level,
to them.
So.
Yeah.
That's good. So, how long have you been in the profession?
I've been in the profession, it'll be 11 years this June 10th.
I didn't even know it's been that long.
Yeah.
So, can you even picture yourself wanting to do something else, or do you feel like this is what you were meant to do?
Oh, I play with the idea occasionally. I mean, I've been told I'm really good at my job, and you should go back and get your master's. But if I went back and got my master's, I'm not sure I'd be working with the same population I'm working with right now. Maybe I'd be doing more therapy, even though I feel like, I would, it's not worth it, I'm too old, basically, you know. And the other thing I think about is, I feel like the work I do now, I feel like it's, I'm on the cutting edge of the field anyway. I have a lot of autonomy and creativity with my job. So I get to learn and teach myself what I need to know to do my job.
So, and I know, did you start the yoga classes at or was that something that was going on beforehand?
No, I wanted to do yoga from the time I started there, but I think it was really my executive director who started doing yoga. And then I would talk to him about how good I thought our clients would do with it, because it gets them more in their bodies, more in tune with their bodies. We called it befriending your own body, so that people were spending time recognizing, because you see a lot of people with mental illness walk with their head down, and they don't have good posture, and their self-care is poor, and yoga just seemed a perfect way to get people to stop and attend to themselves. So it's been working out great.
And it's been successful. It sounds like it. So that's awesome that you were able to start something that people have really grabbed onto and enjoyed. So, do you ever feel burned out at your job, or do you feel pretty satisfied with it? At times.
Yeah, at times, you know, it can wear you out. I kind of make it, a high priority not to let it burn me out. I take care of myself because I figure if I'm burned out, I'm not going to do anybody any good. So self-care is really important to me. Learning to do my job, prioritizing it so that, you know, I'm not overworked. I'm working smarter, not harder. It's really hard for me because I came from the service industry. One of the things I really liked about being in the service industry, like I put myself to school by going to being a bartender, that I was able to anticipate and meet people's needs. And I kind of feel like I'm taking that into the mental health setting. And sometimes you just want to help. You know, if something's important to them, you want to get it done for them while they're in the mood to get it done, because sometimes they don't have as high interest as they would on other days. I mean, their mood doesn't stay even. If they're enthused for one moment, that enthusiasm may not come around for another 6 months. So I hate to lose opportunities, but then that means I may not be attending to my paperwork as much as I should. You know, so it's just learning how to roll my paperwork more into what I do. But I'm out a lot. So I'm not meeting everybody in my office. I'm in their homes. I'm taking them to the grocery store. I'm
doing a lot.
Running a lot of groups. The yoga group, and then I have a symptom management group that I call Interstates 101. And I had 7 people there. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, getting people to come to group. I have 10, 11 people at yoga. And it's one of the highest attended groups we have because...
That's awesome, though.
One of the characteristics or aspects of when you have a mental illness, depression or schizophrenia, you don't have really good motivation. So if there's no reason for them to be in group and they don't have an inner motivation to get there, I mean, it's really hard to get people to come to groups to get better. So sometimes I go pick them up. And then that gets into my productivity too.
Well, you're getting people there. It's a good idea. So
yeah.
So what is the most rewarding part of your job?
I think the most rewarding part of my job is that it's not boring. It's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. My clients are fascinating. The people I work with are fascinating. The brain is fascinating. The autonomy I have, I get to be creative. I get to what was the question? The most rewarding part of my job?
What's rewarding about your job? It sounds like there's a lot of things that are really rewarding about your job for you, and you can really go on about it. Yeah,
I can. Yeah. I mean, it's a wide variety that I do every day. Not only am I working with people on how to find strategies to manage their thoughts, with thought stopping and creating new thoughts, and how to cope with their symptoms, but self-care, finances, physical health, their spirituality. I mean, all the aspects that make up a person, I attend to. If that's what they're attending to, then I'm right there with them. You meet somebody right where they are with what they're struggling with, and every day it's something new. Every person it's something new. But then again, there's all this common stuff that.
So that goes into what are some of the more struggling things about it? Just, do you ever get frustrated? I can imagine with having to deal with people that are mentally ill, I could see it being a little bit frustrating at times, but do you ever feel like you get frustrated?
I get frustrated when we don't have the resources for the need. And it can really come down to life and death, like it did today, and it's horrifying when I have no options for somebody who's really sick, because they want people in the community, and some people, I've tried everything, and they can't make it in any of the housing things I've tried, and now they're homeless. well, how is that better when they need a higher structure of living and we don't have it? It's so that's frustrating. Wanting to do more, personally, like when somebody is struggling with psychosis, they've struggled with the same psychosis and the same thoughts for years, and trying to get them to come up with the motivation to perhaps journal, perhaps become a writer, to have a more witness sort of experience with their own experience instead of being so caught up in it.
You just wish they maybe wanted more out of themselves at times, or
I wonder what's keeping them stuck, and sometimes I get frustrated thinking it's me. Like, I'm not giving them the tools or showing them the tools that they may like, or they may find that resonate with them. So that can be frustrating, and then I realize that everybody's struggling. We're just starting to understand more, and but yeah, I get frustrated a little bit. Most of the time, though, it's really a rewarding job.
Yeah.
Connecting with people. I mean, that's the cool thing. When people, I don't know how to go on about that, but there's this connection between.
Yeah, and I can tell that you genuinely, really, really do love your job, and
and it's hard to connect with somebody who has schizophrenia, and so when you do it and you see it, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
When you can see their brain work in a different direction, and they move from being a little bit unstuck, or they accomplish something, or they recognize something positive about themselves. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's rewarding. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview with me. It was great to learn a little bit more about what you do. So thank you.
You're welcome.